Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. This is the very first video on the Smart SPS channel, and I thought the best place to start would be with a simple question. Why did we create Smart SPS? Because to answer that, I need to take you back a little. A few years ago, I found myself thinking about something I couldn't quite ignore. I'd spent more than 2 decades building businesses. Technology was moving faster every year. New tools were appearing all the time. AI was starting to become part of everyday conversations. And yet, when I looked at education, I felt there was still a gap. Schools were working hard, teachers were working hard, parents were doing their best. Students were trying to prepare for a future that seemed to change every year. That got me thinking, how do we prepare young people for a world that even adults can't fully predict? The more I thought about that question, the more it stayed with me. Eventually, that question became Smart SPS. Before I tell you more about Smart SPS, let me tell you a little about myself. I've been involved in business for more than 25 years. Back in 2002, I started my marketing company, iMedia5. Looking back now, it's incredible how much has changed. When I first started, simply having a website gave you an advantage. Today, somebody can build one in a weekend. Marketing has changed, communication has changed, business has changed, technology has changed, and now AI is changing things once again. Life has also taken me through a few different places. I grew up in Libya, later I moved to the UK, then I spent almost 10 years living in Dubai. Every move teaches you something. Different cultures, different people, different ways of thinking, different ways of doing business. One thing those experiences taught me was adaptability. Life rarely follows the plan you have in your head. Sometimes opportunities appear when you least expect them. Sometimes things don't go the way you hoped. Sometimes you have to start again. You learn, you adjust, you keep moving forward. I think a lot of people can relate to that. Over the years, I've met some incredibly talented people. Students, teachers, business owners, young people with great ideas, people who work hard and genuinely want to improve their lives. The interesting thing, talent usually isn't the problem. Most people have more ability than they realize. What's often missing is opportunity. Sometimes it's confidence. Sometimes it's support. Sometimes it's guidance. Sometimes it's simply not knowing what the next step should be. That's probably one of the biggest reasons Smart SPS exists. I generally believe talent is everywhere. The challenge is that opportunity isn't always everywhere. If we can help close that gap even a little, then we're building something worthwhile. People sometimes ask me why I became so interested in education. After all, most of my career has been spent in business. The answer is actually quite simple. Education affects everything. Every career, every business, every opportunity, every future. The more I looked at it, the more I realized that helping people learn, adapt, and grow has one of the biggest long-term impacts you can make. At the same time, technology was changing almost every industry I could think of. Businesses were becoming more efficient, new systems were appearing, processes were becoming automated, entire industries were being transformed. Education couldn't stand still, not because traditional education is wrong, far from it. Teachers are incredibly important. Schools are incredibly important. Structure is important. Qualifications matter. But the world outside the classroom is changing rapidly. Students need more than information. They need confidence, communication skills, problem solving, adaptability, digital literacy. Most importantly, they need to know how to keep learning throughout their lives. That's where Smart SPS began to take shape, not as a single business, but as a way of bringing together education, technology, AI, and business to create something useful, something practical, something that helps people move forward. Let's talk about AI for a moment because it's impossible not to. Everyone seems to have an opinion about it. Some people think AI is going to solve every problem. Others think it's going to replace everyone. Personally, I think both sides are getting carried away. I think some people are overestimating AI in the short term and underestimating it in the long term. AI isn't magic, but it is powerful. Used properly, it can save time, it can support learning, it can help businesses become more efficient, it can remove repetitive tasks, it can help people access knowledge faster than ever before. At the same time, it needs to be used responsibly, especially in education. Safety matters, accuracy matters, human connection matters. One opinion I feel quite strongly about is this. I don't think AI will replace teachers. I think teachers who understand AI will have an advantage over those who don't. That's a very different conversation. At Smart SPS, we're interested in how technology can support people, not replace them, support them, helping teachers, helping students, helping parents, helping schools, helping businesses. That's the opportunity we see. When people hear the name Smart SPS, they often think it's one project. The reality is that it's a group of connected projects built around a common purpose, helping people learn, helping people grow, helping people reach their potential. Smartition supports students through tutoring and learning. SupplyTeachers.ae helps schools find quality staff while helping teachers find opportunities. Smart Global Academy is focused on the future of online education. Resourceful Learning focuses on educational resources and support. AI Tutor for Schools explores practical ways AI can support learning safely and effectively. There are other projects in development as well. Some are further ahead than others. That's completely normal. Building takes time. What matters is that each project exists for a reason, not because it's fashionable, not because it's exciting, because it solves a genuine problem. Everything comes back to one simple question. How can we help people move forward? Another reason we started this channel is because trust matters. Perhaps more than ever, these days, everyone has a website. Everyone has social media. Everyone can create content. Everyone can talk about success. What people really want to know is who's behind the business, what they believe, what they're learning, what mistakes they've made, what they're building, and why. That's why we decided to build in public, not because we're going to share every detail. Some things should stay private, but because there's value in showing the process, the wins, the challenges, the lessons, the reality behind building something from the ground up. Most businesses show you the finished building. We're happy to show you the construction site. One thing I'd also like to make clear is that Smart SPS isn't built by one person. It's built by a team. Sam brings decades of educational experience and a deep understanding of schools, students, teachers, and parents. Aman brings innovation, technology, creativity, and the energy to keep pushing ideas forward. Others contribute behind the scenes every day as well. That's how meaningful businesses are built. So what can you expect from this channel? You'll hear founder stories, the lessons we've learned, the mistakes we've made, the things we do differently. We'll talk about education. We'll talk about AI. We'll talk about business. We'll explore opportunities. We'll discuss challenges, and we'll have honest conversations about where the world might be heading. Not because we claim to have all the answers, but because we're asking the questions. If there's one thing I've learned from more than 2 decades in business, it's this. You do not need everything figured out before you begin. I've started projects that worked. I've started projects that failed. I've had ideas I thought were brilliant that the market completely disagreed with. That's business. You learn, you adapt, you improve, then you keep moving. Many people spend years waiting for the perfect moment. More money, more confidence, more certainty, more experience. The problem is that certainty rarely comes before action. Most of the time, clarity comes after you start. You learn by doing. You improve by making mistakes. You build confidence by taking the next step. That's certainly been true for us. Smart SPS didn't appear overnight. It's been built through conversations, learning experiences, setbacks, adjustments, and persistence. And we're still building. So thank you for joining us at the beginning of this journey. We're still learning, we're still growing, we're still figuring things out, but we're moving forward. If you're interested in education, AI, business, technology, entrepreneurship, or simply the idea that ordinary people can build meaningful things, I hope you'll join us. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and tell us what topics you'd like us to cover next. I genuinely love to hear your thoughts. My name is Asan ul Haq. This is the journey of building Smart SPS, and this is only the beginning. Thank you for watching.
Smart SPS, learn, grow, shine, shaping futures, one step at a time.
Smart SPS.